3 and a 2 and a 1. Well. Brand new comedy dates. I'm heading to Cleveland. Then I go out to London, Manchester, and Birmingham with the great Jim Florentine. Going to be up in Canada, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto. That's all in July. Then I go to Vegas, go to Baltimore, Dallas, Fort Worth, Charlotte, North Carolina, just added, Fargo, and then awful white trash, Bakersfield, California, San Diego, Rochester, Denver, Batavia, Illinois. I don't know why I'm there and not Chicago, but just be lucky I'm coming. Portland, Eugene, Bend, Huntington, Newton, New Jersey, Bangor, Maine, even though I don't think it's Bangor, Maine. I think it's another place in Maine. Mashantucket, whatever that place is, Foxwoods. And then I wrap up the year in Boston, Massachusetts. JimNorton.com. Go on now. Get yourself some tickets. Okay, good. Well, I guess we can start now because there are callers here, right? We can wait for a second before we go to them.
There's one so far.
Okay. Well, we'll put on IG Live and we'll get some more. Thank you for coming, Drew. I don't need to introduce you. Again, I get yelled at for not introducing my guest, but if you don't know who Dr. Drew is,
that's very kind. I'm here for you, but I got to tell you something. This chair is full Nikki.
It is.
Because this thing, I'm sliding out from under me.
You can take it off or throw it on the floor.
This is what I'm talking about. This is a full Nikki.
This is and you're right, my wife's idea. This is not me.
I knew it. I can tell the difference between you. I know you guys well enough now to know which is hers and which is yours.
Anything Sabbath or Kiss is me. Anything else is her. Pink, fluffy, that's all Nikki.
Yes.
But I like stuff like that too. Like I like kind of.
You like because you like her. You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
I mean, I like it too because I like her too. But I wouldn't choose Fluffy.
Probably.
Although
not.
That new dog is pretty fluffy.
The dog, but again, that was all her.
I understand, but I admire it. It was a good choice. You know what I'm saying? That's so.
My first dog.
Really?
I like it, but I'm so glad I don't have
Explains
kids.
a lot.
It makes me, well, my lifestyle is not conducive with raising anything. I forgot to do, I like to start too. We're on Instagram Live too. Call in right now, 720-820-1337. If you want to ask Dr. Drew a question, I would say ask one of us a question, but let's be honest. You're the originator of this. The Love Lines was the first.
Yeah, it wasn't the first, but it certainly was an iconic version of that kind of thing. And it was one of the first FM talk shows, which today people would just go, so what?
Yeah.
It's like, but it was a big deal then because these were rock stations and they dared to put a talk show on 5 nights a week. That was considered radical. And it worked.
How do people react to? Because I get things like where people go, yeah, but don't use callers. And I'm like, no, callers take you in directions you had no idea you were going to go in because they're not involved with you at all.
But people having experiences are interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. And if we can interact with that in an interesting way, or in fact, from my standpoint, a way that enhances people in some way, gives them information, whatever, what is wrong with that?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? I had a show at your mom's house. It was all call-in for a while. But I did you ever do that show?
No.
I don't think you did.
No.
It was called After Dark. Did it for like 4 or 5 years. But the last couple of years we did it with calls. And it was great.
Did people complain at first?
No.
Oh, they were good?
No, they're sort of like, why aren't you taking calls? Before that, they kind of expect me to take calls.
Maybe I'm the problem. They're like, you're off the phone, Jim.
They just want you to be funny. But the other thing is that, the world is so different than when we used to take calls, right? My little idea in when I was 24 years old at the time in 1983, when we started this thing, isn't that crazy? Was, God, this stuff is so easy to understand. At that point, you remember this, when STDs were sort of shrouded in Latin terms. They were called venereal diseases.
Yeah.
There was something really weird about them.
Yeah.
Condoms, behind the counter, you'd have to ask the pharmacist to bring them forward.
And I never did, but some people.
I mean, but for if you could have.
Some rookies did, yeah.
But for an 18-year-old, that's a tall order. He's lining up with his mom's, friends getting their blood pressure medication. And there just was nowhere to get information. I thought it's so easy. So they should have this information. In fact, I'm thinking about this again now, where I'm thinking that people should have access. There's pre and post exposure antibiotic and HIV prophylaxis. Particularly, you can avoid 95% of infectious disease now by taking an antibiotic after you have sex. I mean,
really?
Yes, it's simple. Doxycycline after sex really eradicates it.
Why am I'm fucking married. I'm like, really, Dr. Drew?
If you'd only known, it could have saved a lot of time at the clinic. But the point is that then Noah was talking to young people. It was considered bizarre to talk to young people because we'd just been through the sexual revolution, right?
Right.
And at that time, people were like, why would you talk to adolescents? They're not having sex. What's wrong with you? I'm like, sorry, but I was an adolescent 6 years ago, and guess what?
They are.
They are. And oh, by the way, there was this thing coming that we just stopped calling GRIDS, and we just were starting to call AIDS.
Oh, is that GRIDS at first?
Gay-related intestinal disease syndrome.
Oh, right.
And we still, the causative agent at that time was HTLV3. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Yeah, it was the beginning of it, and I was like, someone's got to talk to people about this. They've not heard about it yet.
But I just did the same thing to you that I did to Dr. Ian Smith. You said something, and I went, oh, right. Like also a learned colleague remembers. I had no idea.
I saw the monocle fall out of his mouth.
I really am.
And he
an
put
asshole.
his pipe down for a second.
Here's what I should have said. I didn't know that. That would have been a more honest response. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that.
I took it sort of as that, so it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, interesting. I took it as, oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I remember that from a conference I attended. Before we go to calls, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there any type of a medical fad that annoys you? Because you always hear about these new things where, again, alkaline in the water and all this. What's the one that's just bugging you where people just won't shut up about it and you know it's kind of crap? Is there one?
You know, I probably have to think about this a minute because it used to all the sort of non-medical stuff used to so medicine has changed so much in the last 30 years that 40 years that I've been practicing, and it used to be like it was so important what we were doing. Now it's like it's a 9-to-5 job. People have access to all kinds of things themselves, and it's kind of the golden age of supplements when things actually work.
Right.
I would say the latest thing that's driving me a little crazy is too much on magnesium. Too much.
I haven't heard anything about magnesium.
Magnesium glycinate, the only one. This only you're seeing you're raving. Yeah, I mean, no, not that there's anything wrong with magnesium. It's just too much. It's not going to make you sleep. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's a good supplement. It's good, but too much.
How about the cold plunges?
Well,
sorry to interrupt you.
I was a fan of the cold plunges. Corolla does one every day. And I was taking cold showers for a while. It didn't do much for me.
It doesn't.
And now it really doesn't really show to do much. And Corolla's point all along was, I'm not trying to be healthier. I'm trying to force myself to do something I don't want to do to be disciplined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His thing is just to really indoctrinate yourself to a structure in your day where you do something unpleasant. So I don't know. He's a masochist. What are you gonna say?
But I wonder, and let's go to a call. Let's take somebody. If you have advice that you would like to seek counsel from Dr. Drew, if I can help, but let's be honest.
I don't know about counsel, but information.
A suggestion.
Yeah,
that is true. You're a doctor. I have to be careful. Yes. What's your name? You're on the air with Jim and Dr. Drew.
Hi guys, big fans. My name's Dave.
Hi, Dave. Welcome.
Hey, Dave.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm about 32 years old, and me and my wife are going to start having children soon, or we're gonna, and like in a certain amount of time. And the thing is I used to drink and party a lot, for years and years ago. But I've been sober about a year and a half. I still smoke weed, plenty of weed, and so I'm going to stop smoking weed before, like for a certain amount of time before I have, or like before we start to try.
Here we go.
What's like a good?
Let's get to it. There we go.
Yeah. There's a lot of exposition here.
So what's a good what?
Well, so I'm getting another call. I'm just telling you to shut the fuck up. So like, how long should I just be cleaning out my system before my sperm's ready to go?
You're good move on your part.
Does that matter really to clean your sperm?
I mean, if you really want to look, you're already. Is your wife the same age as you?
She's a couple years older, 2 years older.
Okay, so she's already what's called a geriatric pregnancy, believe it or not. Guys,
at what age?
34, 35.
At 34?
Wow.
Yeah, 35 is a geriatric pregnancy.
Oh.
And so you want to
Don't tell her that.
Don't tell her that. No.
I'll give you a great supplement. This thing called True Niagen. I put Kat Timpf on it. They were already in fertility treatment. They were heading towards fertility treatment. She got pregnant in a month on nicotine and riboside.
Really?
You want to start about 500 milligrams and see if you can get her up to 1,000. It significantly improves fertility. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm, of course, a fan of you wearing loose underwear, not sitting in jacuzzis. All these things enhance fertility, believe it or not, and not taking toxins that affect motility and number of sperm. There are ways to test your sperm and sperm motility at home, believe it or not. There's a over-the-counter sort of test available, but I don't think you need that. You've unfortunately stayed with the worst one, the one that has the most effect on sperm, which is weed. We don't know if that's mostly because of it raising estrogen level and lowering testosterone, but it does do that. So get off that one as soon as you possibly can. It may take a few months to really equilibrate from that. And there was at one point, so I don't know if I believe this research, some evidence that that the weed had an effect mostly on the children if the father was smoking the weed, not the mom.
So it knocked up the sperm a little, banged it up.
It makes no sense to me, but that was out there for many years. Anyway, just clean up, get the nicotinamide right, get the true Niagen. It's 500 milligrams to get her to 2.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Thank you for the call. Hope it helps. And I'm going to try some with my wife. We've been having a hard time. So I'm going to see if that works for Nikki. Boy, I don't want kids. I sure did luck out.
You sort of slammed that door down.
Oh, I absolutely.
Although my understanding is anybody can do anything now, right?
That is true. Yeah. I'll talk to the progressives. They'll be like, she'll be pregnant in 2 weeks. All right. Who's on the phone?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're on. What's your name?
Hi, Sam.
Welcome, Sam. What's going on?
Hey, so I have a question. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
You're here, buddy.
Okay, cool. So I have a question. So, I'm seeing this girl now who she tells me that she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Oh, boy. Good times. Jim, wait a second. Sam, hold on. You come across a few of those.
Hold
on.
Hold on, Sam. And Dr. Drew was asking if I've come across, yes, any of them who are fun in bed were borderline personalities. It's never a quiet end to the relationship, but it's worth every minute of it.
So Jim is a borderline magnet.
I attract kooks.
Well, and poor borderlines, they suffer more than anybody. But go ahead. We'll talk more about the disorder. Keep going.
Well, the only other thing is also she admitted to me yesterday on our 4th date that she has anal herpes somehow. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. She takes medication that she says suppresses it.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. This seems like something like some sort of a red flag. I guess. I don't know.
Well, she seems like a fun girl. I'll be honest. She's a trooper. You know that. Now, did she tell you, this would be the doctor, did she tell you if it's HSV 1 or 2? Because could she have gotten, from anal, of course, but could she have gotten it from somebody just performing a little analingus on her?
You know what? That is certainly true. And it no longer really matters. Everything is everywhere.
I guess so.
1 and 2 is in the genitals, it's in the anus, in the mouth. It's all over the place. 2 tends to be a little more severe.
But is it true about the medication?
Yeah, you can suppress it. And the suppression works to suppression about a level of 95%. So, if you're not messing around back there, then your chance of transmission is very low. There may also, although she has the recurrence back there might be something still going on in the genitalia, just saying. But so if you really want to protect yourself thoroughly, you want to wear a condom. But the meds are very effective, very effective.
Right. Yeah. I have one more thing, please, if I may.
Sure.
So your name's Dr. Drew, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Drew?
Yes.
Yes.
What, do you work in the Wheel of Fortune or something?
It's a Chip Chipperson reference. Thank you very much, sir. It was a Chip Chipperson. Whenever you hear something or something, you know that it was a Chip Chipper.
Oh, God.
I didn't hear the joke, but I'm sure it was a home run. All right. Who's on next? Yes, sir. You're on the phone with Doctors Drew and Jim. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Brian.
Hey, Brian, welcome.
Hey, so, Jim, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I'm listening to Opie and Anthony shows from 2007, and I'm on 2011 right now.
Thank you.
It's basically gotten me through work for the last 5 years. It's great. I can't wait to get on to Jim and Salmon.
Wow.
I don't know why it said Jim and Salmon in it. But I actually, I'm going through a divorce right now, so I just wanted some advice moving on and going off into the single world.
How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
How long were you married?
Married 5 years, together for 10. I just found out 2 weeks ago she's got a boyfriend 3 months into a separation.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so she's probably at least talking before you got separated. I haven't been single for a long time, but I'm a sex addict. So for me, being single is different than for the regular person who might just want to go out, meet a nice person, go on Match.com. I was rifling through my bank account, having sometimes 2 people come over a night. It was very unhealthy. So I don't suggest that, although it was a very fun 20 years.
So you were paying. You were paying for sex.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. Yeah. So So are you in recovery? Sex addiction recovery?
Yeah, but I still kind of relapse on porn and stuff like that. But I'm
Did you have to do a program to get out of that?
oh yeah.
And did you have other program going?
Oh yeah, I'm sober. I don't drink drugs. All that stuff.
So SA was just something you didn't get to. It's really common right now. People get control of the chemicals and they don't realize gambling, sex,
Same thing.
and off it goes.
Same
eventually.
dopamine. Yeah.
But it goes, it grows, it progresses just like everything else.
Yes.
That's the surprise to people. They're like, well, I can do a little porn or whatever, which is what you have to be careful with now is it still could progress.
It certainly can. And I noticed that when I'm on the road, away from my wife, it's like, normally years ago I would be cheating and getting hooker. But now it's just, I like to eat really bad. So I'm getting fat and I like to watch porn. Like those are my two things, not good things, but it's not what it was. I look at it like that, like, all right, you're not in great shape, but you're certainly not in the disastrous shape you were in.
Do you have a sponsor still?
I do. And he still texts me, hey, how's it going? What's going on?
Do you tell him?
Yeah, always.
You're
Sure.
honest.
Yeah. Why not?
Do you sponsor other people?
No. And it was because I didn't think I was too busy. I was traveling a lot, but I also
I'll
think
be
it
honest,
was
you
probably
shouldn't
lazy.
if you're still chipping on stuff.
Oh, of course not. No. And that was another reason I did. Yeah, you can't. If you're in recovery for drugs, you can't sponsor somebody and then go take an edible. And go, you know what? I got to talk to this boring asshole. I'm going to take an edible and relax.
And
He
do some
complains.
porn when I finish.
And then wait, the guy who's calling in. Sorry. Apologies.
So his wife was acting out.
Yeah,
we don't know if she has sex addiction or not. That's interesting you brought that up.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's ended the relationship. It was enough to do it. And he's worrying about single life. How was it before you got married?
So I wasn't bad looking, but we've been together since I was about 20. So everything before that was either kind of short term or didn't really work out. But now I'm 30. So now I'm kind of in a weird age range. So I don't really know. I'm kind of going in blind,
Yeah. I don't envy it. I'm actually glad.
Know. He could date 20-year-olds, right?
If you're 30, yeah, of course you can.
And so he's got a big age range to choose from. I mean,
Sure.
like 24 to 30 probably.
Yeah.
Reasonably close, or 24 to 34. Really.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in an optimum age range.
That's a great place to be.
In a weird way, yeah. Number one. Number two, do take care of yourself, right? You were kind of hinting that you let yourself go a little bit. Is that what you're telling us?
No, I've always been a gym guy.
Okay, good.
I grew my hair out.
Good. So fine.
Grew my hair out during the pandemic.
So here's my advice.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
The best advice I can give you is enjoy spending time with people. Just like pick people you want to spend time with, you're attracted to. Do not make it oh my God, I gotta, this is the love of my life. Do not do that kind of codependent shit.
Yes.
Just enjoy spending time. Come, go, ask again, put yourself out there, but don't have huge expectations, and don't let yourself sort of get too excited about anything until it's well established.
And don't start love bombing.
Oh, no.
Do you know, did I ever tell you, and thank you for the call, but I appreciate your call. Did I ever tell you how much you did a show, I don't know if I've told you this, where it was about sex addiction. And it was the best summation of the penalty of sex addiction. It was the drummer who was on, I think he was a musician.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that, Phil. And he said that one time he had gotten a call from his mother and he rushed her off the phone so he could masturbate.
His dad.
It was his dad.
Yeah.
And
he went back and told him. He came clean to his dad about it.
What?
Oh, maybe it was his
No,
mom.
it was his mom
because she died right after.
She died right after,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
said that he lost that last conversation with his mother.
Yes, that's
because he wanted, not knowing she was going to die.
That's right.
And I thought, that's what people don't. That's how it gets you.
Yes.
It's not always the arrest. It's not always this disastrous explosion. It robs you of your last conversation with your mother.
Phil Varone, if I remember his last name.
I don't remember. Yeah, it was. But it hit me like a cinder block. And you wouldn't think to explain it that way until you heard a guy who actually did something where it happened.
I still think the average person would not get it. Let's think of another way of saying it. It's like every addiction. It steals from you.
Yes.
It steals your soul. It steals your goodness. It steals your relationships. It steals the people and then it also infects everything. It's always around, and you lose. I think that's the bottom line. Addiction causes loss.
And you want to be alone with your addiction sometimes. Like you want to just
all the time.
You want to act out. You want to watch porn. Your sister calls. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Like it's all these family moments and real moments that you just lose. But that was a great. If I ever meet that guy, I want to tell him how much that helped me. Who's on the phone next? Well. Once again, my favorite people are here. Blue Chew, the original brand, offering chewable tablets. Chewable tab. Unfortunately, they don't offer the ability to speak properly. You want a tablet? Shut up, fat bosoms. Blue Chews are the original tablets for better sex. Starting now, they're offering a very strong combination. It'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. You have to move towns. All right. Blue Chew Max has, it arrived, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable. That's music to my ears. The active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis. Ooh, I hear that, my dick just goes, it just wakes up a little bit. It fluffs up. Guys, be ready when she needs it, not when you need it. You don't want to be like me, 5 o'clock in the morning, giving the old nipples a tweedle. You know, you want to be ready when she wants you to be ready. Like when she rubs your thigh, your dick is like, I got it. I'm ready to go. Great sex is a few clicks away. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You have to consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you are approved, you're going to receive a prescription within days. It's very fast. It's very simple. Blue Chew tablets. They're made in the USA. I don't care where they're made. They are shipped directly to your door. That I care about. I don't want to stand in line behind some old bag at the pharmacy. And meanwhile, I'm all limp and soft. And the old lady is like, my arthritis medication. I'm incontinent. And I'll actually have to grab her by the shoulders and go, get out of the way, you old bag. And I point to my dick, and she's like, you're right, sir. You need this more than I do. Here's the best part. It is done online. No visits to the doctor's office, none of those awkward conversations or those humiliating, annoying old people in front of you at the pharmacy. It's not going to stop. Blue Chew will not stop until every man's dick is working better than it does at the moment. And who couldn't use a little help? Even if your dick works fine, you're a young guy. A little help is always good. It's always good to have just that little bit of extra. Is turgidity a word? I love it. Sometimes even if I don't have anybody coming over, I'll pop a Blue Chew tablet and I'll just slap it and it will go. And I'll do that for hours on end. My wife, Taffy, sitting across the room laughing, watching me. What a family event. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. Here's the special deal for Jim Norton listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew for free when you use the promo code Norton. Let them know who sent you. You could just put fat-breasted boy with limp penis, and they'll know it's me, but that's not what the code is. It's Norton. You pay $5 shipping. Promo code Norton, BlueChew.com. More details, more important safety information. And we really do thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. It is a product I do use a lot, and I love. Thank you. My penis thanks you, and my wife and dog thank you. Helps as I go to watch porn as soon as you leave. Okay. That really helped me.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Nick and Lowell.
Hey, what's up? What's your name?
Nick in Lowell.
Nick, Lowell, I'm from Lowell, Mass.
Lowell, Mass.
Nick from Lowell. Welcome, Nick.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm 37, and I'm experiencing my first hemorrhoid.
Nice.
And I got to tell you, before I went to the doctor, I took a look at my own backside there.
It's pretty interesting.
And my butthole is way bigger than I thought. And is there anything to that? Like the wrinkles, it was like the crow's feet on a 45-year-old woman that smoked her whole life.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
They were deep.
But that's okay. But the sort of the blossoming is the hemorrhoids.
Yes.
Did you see?
That really.
Have you seen Tom Green's new documentary?
Different. I had to expose myself to a new doctor. It was a time.
All right, so hold on a second. Let Drew answer.
So he it just reminds me.
Yes.
His dad. He always gives shit to his parents.
Yes.
And his dad was going to have a cyst removed from his head, and Tom showed up and was going to fry it up and eat it.
Oh.
And his dad goes, "Oh, you came on the wrong day. This is my hemorrhoid operation." That's so funny.
It's funny. I texted with him today.
Like
Tom.
That's on me, beat on me situation.
So did they make a? Did they make
hey,
a?
long time.
Go ahead.
He said it was all right. Just put the cream on there, it's one of those ones right on the hoop there.
Yeah.
So the Preparation H has that like cream pie filter thing. It didn't feel right.
Does it work?
Creams work. They work. Hot showers, hot baths.
Thank you very much for the call, man. Good luck with that roid. I was going to say grab it with pliers and man up for once.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No, bad idea. That's why Dr. Drew is here, because my ideas are not good.
I don't use the hot.
But if it's a bad one, or if they keep coming back, then sometimes something needs to be done. And
surgery,
that
right?
used to be a terrible operation. Now it's not so bad.
Well, how long are you out of commission for?
Depends what commission for what.
Like for that's true. Yeah, are we talking fingers, or you just want to eat more than pudding? Say for exercise or I take jujitsu. How long would I not?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I imagine it's a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks for that.
But I had seen people that had pain for a long time afterwards. So.
It's a rough one, right?
Yeah, it's bad. Well, it used to be. Now it's not so bad. I don't know technically what they're doing differently, but I've noticed that patients that have it are not nearly so troubled by it.
What do you think of? There's a guy who I would love to talk to, and there's a documentary on Netflix about him. He's the guy who's worth he spends millions of dollars every year trying to live forever.
That drives me crazy.
That guy.
That drives me insane. That whole phenomenon drives me crazy. So you asked me at the beginning of the show what drives me crazy. First of all, shit is going to happen to him anyway.
Sure.
All right? He may do better than average in terms of pushing back the effects of aging.
Yeah.
But they will come.
Eventually, yeah.
And they're going to come by the time he's 85 to 90. They will come. And if he lives to 110, if he's able to push things back that far, that's 25 or 30 years as a 90-year-old. That is somebody who's never seen a 90-year-old.
Right.
So he doesn't understand that living long, aged is a thing. He imagines he's going to be young forever. That is not going to happen. Not going to happen. And shit happens along the way anyway. Tumors show up, cancers happen. They just happen. There's no, obviously some of the things in the environment can accelerate these things or trigger them and whatnot. But generally speaking, you cannot prevent all adverse medical events from occurring. You can't. And then finally, this is the part that bugs me the most. The fact that living long is the only intention in your life is shitty, sick, shicky. It's shitty.
Yeah.
Is that life is much more than that, and he's like in a bubble the whole time. He's not living, and life ultimately is about meaning making and about making a difference and doing stuff. Just pushing back the aging process or living an extra 5-10 years, that is not living.
Is it possible?
So that really bothers me that we have so divorced ourselves from our biological reality that we'd rather focus on and work on our biology than work on the meaning of living in life and being in a social world with other humans.
Is it possible? His name is Brian Johnson. Is it possible that he puts, and he said he has the blood of an 18-year-old, all these things.
What does that mean? I don't know what the fuck that means.
I guess.
What does that even mean? There's no blood of an 18-year-old. I looked at some of the stuff he had. Those were basic tests. He's like a normal guy. There's nothing. There's no age-related anything in the blood test that I saw.
Is it possible that he does stave off a few effects by doing this stuff meticulously?
Yes.
And save himself long enough for medical stuff to take place? Like, AI is eventually going to solve so much of it because they can run, or quantum computing and quantum testing, which will be able to run 10,000 tests at once.
Yeah.
Is it possible he stays alive long enough? Like Ray Kurzweil says so is going to come. I think his time frame is off. Even though I think he's right, but I think his time frame is wishful thinking for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with that?
Yeah. So is something going to happen? He looks kind of old in those pictures. He looks older than 47, right?
Yeah, it's an odd. He looks like almost, because he's very pale. He looks almost like Data from Star Trek. Yes. Remember that guy's name?
He looks exactly like that guy. Or the guy, the alien from Galaxy Quest. You are our only hope.
I don't know who that is, but I can definitely picture it being him.
Quest. You got to go watch it. But that's what he looks like. But yes, maybe an extra 5 years of being 90 years old with, it's shit. There's a cliff that we fall off of. We're biological. You can push things back. You watch what happens. He's 47 now. I'm going to live long enough to watch this guy fall off the edge. It's gonna be not good. If that's provided he doesn't get cancer along the way or something else.
Because little kids, even if they're healthy, like even children get cancer. Like, so even if you have the blood of a young kid, they get leukemia, they get bone marrow cancer.
Exactly.
But I am rooting for this guy, though, because even though he's spending a lot of money and he is a little OCD, and I say a little as in, it's his whole life.
It's such a bad idea, though, compared to somebody, doing stuff. I'd rather be Elon Musk than this guy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
He can be. The guy runs around. He's got rockets. He's Elon Musk is a fun hang. This, but this guy in a way, like when you look at a guy like Einstein,
Yeah.
and I'm not comparing the two. I'm only saying like Einstein's whole life is numbers and figure, and I'm sure he lived, but this whole obsession and the things that we've gotten out of his obsession, which may have wrecked his life.
I don't think it wrecked his life. I think he was into it.
You think he enjoyed it?
Yeah. I mean, he was a weird dude. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
But I don't.
He has good pectorals, this guy.
Yeah, he works out a lot, which
Yes.
is great. And
I have bosoms.
That's the one. That's the one thing he's doing that I would say does make a difference. But we can all do that and live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Balance is so much more important than longevity. I don't know.
You're probably right. I'm here looking at this guy.
You got it. Let's see him at 90. I just can't wait.
Who's on the phone now? It's actually a very interesting take. I'm glad you said that because now I feel better about my side blubber. You're on the phone.
Hey, how you doing? This is Austin in North Carolina.
Welcome, Austin. You're on the phone with Jim and Dr. Drew. Thank you for calling.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Jim, you're one of my favorite people on the planet.
Of course I am.
You're just saving my life, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, you are. Dr. Drew, you're also cool, too.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, listen, hang on a second. Before we go on, do you see what that says at the top of those two things?
We're looking at a Daily Mail article. It says, Johnson previously revealed he injected his son's blood in a bizarre attempt to de-age himself. Other strategies, he shaves off his life. He tracks his erections at night, which I also do. But I actually ask my neighbors to do it because I'm usually looking in their window. And he said it's a biological age marker. I guess tracking erections. Do you think the blood injection? It's kind of
the blood injection is insane.
It's Countess Bathory-ish.
And why they allowed him to do that is bizarre. It's amazing he didn't have a reaction, but okay. And then the erection thing. Well, that's an interesting thing because that does. The erection is about 7 times more sensitive than some of the other arteries that can get hardened and disease. And so it is a good sign of vascular health. And so that's all right. That's an okay thing to do as a marker. But, you know, how's he doing? How's that going? And I talked to you, I have prostate cancer, right? You know this about me?
You do?
Yeah. I had prostate out 14 years ago. And then I had radiation like 4 years ago. And all 0, nothing. And still okay on the erection front at night and all that.
Wait, are you okay now?
I should be. I mean, you never know.
Okay,
This shit
okay.
can come back. You know what I mean?
I thought you were saying you were actively going through treatment now.
No, I finished.
Okay.
I had radiation. I met with my radiation team on Wednesday.
Oh, you did?
I just met with them. But my everything's 000. And
great.
if it comes back, I'd have a repeat of this MRI guided SBRT, which was very cool. That's the kind of stuff that we do. If you live longer, we come up with more treatments for serious illnesses, but not so much for longevity. And the stuff he's doing for longevity, I don't know. There's other stuff to do, and he's not doing that. So I don't know. $2 million a year on his health care.
It's a lot of money. And okay, so what was your question? Hopefully, it's kind of something pertinent to this,
or not.
Well, yeah, anything. Whatever it is, buddy.
Kind of. It's like a sex addiction type of thing.
Hey, good times.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. What do you got?
All right. So, quick question for you. So I've been sober 3 years now off booze.
Great.
And have, I guess, kind of switched it up with sex a little bit.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm 29. Friends, family, everyone's like, dude, when are you going to get wiped up, Austin? When are you getting wiped up? But I've been spending all my time, deep diving in some heinous things, attracting the wrong type of women, doing some nefarious acts,
Sure.
what have you. So how can I switch my mindset to a more, I don't know, cherishable relationship with one person rather than just fucking everyone?
So slow down, but just shorthanded. We call this the Jim Norton syndrome.
Yes.
So shorthand.
Yes. JNS. You've got JNS.
JNS.
Hopefully not tiny genitals. Yeah.
So, but did you hear Jim and I talk about this earlier?
No, because they can't. He probably.
I could hear a little bit about a game on light.
Well, what I was saying is this is becoming so common. It's almost axiomatic that people in recovery who are not explain that this will happen,
Sure.
we'll go down this path. It's just so common, gambling or sex or food or something. And if you start going down the sex path, it is important to get some treatment. I mean, first thing to do is come clean with your sponsor and your AA. Do you have a sponsor?
No, I'm kind of a dry drunk guy.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe get some program going. You can take your choice of where you want to go.
He who sponsors himself has an idiot for a sponsor.
There it is. And you will find if you start doing the work of recovery, some of the things, sex addiction is very much a trauma-related thing, right? It's what drug addict doesn't have trauma?
Sure.
It's very, very common. But sex addiction in particular, you really got to get deeper into the trauma. With chemical addiction, sometimes we don't let them get into the trauma stuff because it makes them go use.
Yeah.
Right? And so, or at least we wait a while before we get into it. In sex addiction, you got to kind of get there pretty quick. I don't know if you had that experience.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like with the with sex addiction too, what makes it so much worse, and I'll try to sound smart, what exacerbates it is our connection to our phones, because
You're walking over the crack pipe.
it's
What you're doing.
I said this the
Oh,
other
my
day,
God.
a few weeks ago, actually, on the podcast now. Where I said it's not like you can press your phone and have cake come, and people are like, you can order cake on your phone. I'm like, that's not what I mean, dummy. I mean that if I open my phone and I'm looking at Pornhub, I'm acting out. I'm immediately. When you open your phone, a cake doesn't appear as you're on your phone. That's what I was trying to say. It's
Right.
difficult. And what I've always done, sir, is you can't think your way into healthy action. You have to act your way into healthy thinking, meaning show up.
That's a good one.
I've heard that for many years.
I have not heard that one. That's a good one.
You have to take the actions, bring the body, and the mind will follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to act your way into healthy thinking, because it's not going to feel right at first. It's going to feel like it's futile. It's like going to the gym. You don't think of being in good shape. You got to go to the gym, and then eventually you get in good shape. So
And I'm worried you're not desperate enough yet. I'm worried. You know what I'm saying? You opened with, everyone's telling me to do this thing. All of a sudden
Yeah.
you're looking for us to go, yeah, just stay with the porn. It's fine. So, but you're going to have to take a good look at things and be, again, rigorously honest. Honesty is so important in these recoveries. And there's a lot of help out there. A lot. There's people that can do treatment over Zoom. There's specialists that can work over Zoom. There's SA meetings around the clock.
Yeah.
Zoom if you want, or
Yeah.
telephone or whatever. Don't turn your camera on. People who have a lot of shame and guilt. It used to be when I used to tell people they got to go to an SA meeting, people would like, no,
Yeah.
that's too much. And I go, well, you should really, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, fuck it. Just leave your camera off.
Yeah.
And just turn the mic off and just go to a damn meeting and just show up.
It's
And-
an hour. It's an hour of sanity.
And what you will hear is, it's so weird that we're having these conversations. I just had this with Jason Ellis last week.
Oh, I
He's
love
also-
Jason. Oh, I
also-
love him. Yeah.
He's also recovered from sex addiction.
Yes.
And he was saying, and I have that too, and that's me, and I'm doing that, and that's how I'm thinking, and that's what you hear a lot of. A lot of similar thoughts.
Yeah, Jason is good. Thank you for the call. Good luck. But yeah, there's plenty of places to go. There's plenty of opportunities out there if you want them. Jason's such an honest guy too. I really like him because he's such, he's a complete alpha. Obviously, he's a fighter, a maniac.
Yeah.
He's broken every Evil Knievel, really.
Yeah.
But he's also got these demons, and he talks about. I love that he talks about them.
And he's tender on the inside, kind of thing. He's
Yes.
really sensitive, and it's taken him a while to get fully honest, but he's there. Yeah, I think he's probably there now.
Do you know what someone said to me recently about sex addiction? They were talking, and they said they were talking to a therapist, and they said the reason you act out and you do things, he goes, it's been good to you. Like, remember that it's been, even though of course it's damaging, it's like,
No.
it's really helped me through a lot of things.
There is a reason people do drugs, alcohol, and act out sexually, because it works.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the thing is obviously with substances, you can hurt yourself along the way and hurt other people. But with sex addiction, you can really hurt other people.
Yeah.
Like right away, you're acting out with somebody, on somebody.
Sure.
God knows who else is in your life that's getting affected by this. So it really can be harmful.
And what drives you crazy as a doctor? Like, I asked you about fads, but a lot of people, now we all think that we're smarter than we are because we can read these articles, or at least snippets.
That is true.
So everyone's their own physician. What drives you crazy as a doctor? Is it when people think they know more than they do, or when they try to correct what you're saying? What drives you crazy?
Many of us have taken to putting on our wall a placard that says, please do not confuse your Google search with my medical training and experience. So,
That's great.
because they are different. And there's a reason that we do 2 years of book learning and then 6 to 10 years of experience
Right.
in the wards working with patients. Because in the biological biology is infinitely complicated, and the clinical situation has so much nuance and specificity. Like for my cancer, for instance, I have this great radiation therapist at UCLA, and I said, hey, look, what am I looking at? This thing comes back. He goes, man, your tumor it's going to have the feel of the kind of tumor it's going to come back. And I had a little scare with a blood test like 6 months ago. He goes, that must have been lab error, because there's no way this tumor would behave like that. I go, well, let's say it does come back. Where would it go? He goes, that tends to appear in the periaortic nodes, and sometimes it's on the pelvic crest. You will not find that in a textbook anywhere. There's no textbook that will give you the specificity of that clinical acumen. And when we do, we'll use the SBRT, and we'll get this, and we can avoid the angiogen blockade. There's AI is not going to do that, because it requires your entire body.
Yeah.
The experience of living in this material, not just your memory, living in it as a human being in space. You really learn this stuff.
They don't have gut feelings or
exactly.
When Gary Kasparov in '96 lost to Deep Blue, or he beat Deep Blue the first time, he killed it, and then they fixed the program and it beat him. But the first time when he beat it, he said that what it didn't have, because he did some move that the computers didn't see coming.
Yeah. And
he goes, it was just a feeling.
Yeah.
It was just like, I just felt like this.
Look, that is how Tesla invented alternating current. That's some of Einstein's breakthrough. It just comes. And it's not like he's logically or using his memory, and I mean, all that works too, but all of a sudden there'll be a synthesis of an experience that you're having based on all the things you've been thinking and doing and working on. That synthetic process, I don't think AI is ever going to do that. I don't know.
Do you think, unless they map out the human brain and they figure exactly what chemical reactions?
Because it's never going to happen, because what I'm telling you, the autonomic nervous system, where do feelings come from?
I mean,
when you have a feeling, where does it start?
I think it feels like it's like this, but it's whatever it is. It's
not a depression, but a feeling.
A series of electrical
no,
impulses.
But where does it locate? Where is it located first?
For me,
you just pointed
in the back of the chest, towards the back of the head.
All right, so you're in your body.
Yeah.
Feelings come from the body, and feelings are sort of an antenna with the world. It's the part we share with other mammals and even lizards and things, and how we use that, and then our brain uses that information. That's what I'm talking about. That's very important and very informative. I can't tell you how many times working with patients I've had uncanny experiences. Uncanny. You mentioned that sex addiction show I did. I had an experience that I always use as an example of these uncanny experiences on that show, where there was a guy that was talking about this horrible trauma, and every time he'd come in for sit down with me, I would hear the opening music of Mad Men. Dun, 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 the little drum roll. Bum, 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 bum. Did you watch Mad Men?
No, I remember it. No, I'm just wondering.
Can you play the music for us? Or here it comes. And he'd come in, the music would play, and here it is.
We'll have to take it out of post.
Oh, we can't hear it? You're not allowed to play it?
You play it, but then we'll talk after it.
Listen to the little drum.
Oh, yeah.
That
I've heard that many times.
And then a couple sessions in, I start feeling like I'm that shadowy character falling through the buildings. I start feeling like that. And I'm working with this guy. I'm thinking, I've never felt like that before. I've never heard music in my head like that before. I think that has meaning. I'm going to just keep listening to it. And over time, this happened every time he walked in, music, falling. And then one day, I felt like I was falling, and you've got a joke behind your. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, then you finally realized you were talking to John Hamm.
That might have something to do with it. But I could see you loading up a joke, Jim.
It was just there. I couldn't. It started in the chest and the back.
That's the back of the head part. So again, he sits down, I'm hearing the music, I'm falling, and then all of a sudden I'm a baby falling through the buildings. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. It was so intense. And I stopped him. He was telling me again about this horrible abuse.
Wow.
And I stopped him and I go, look, I'm sorry, but I'm having an experience. I think I'm gonna share it with you. I think it might have some meaning for you. I told him the whole thing, and he goes, you and your fucking psychobabble, you think you know everything. He got furious and he stormed out. Okay. Comes back the next day and he goes, how did you know? He goes, every day I just hear the baby's crying, the baby's falling, the baby. And I was like, it's not in me. There's some part of you communicating with me. And when people have those, when you share those experiences with them, they feel deeply connected. Like they're understood in a way that they don't understand even. And it's very useful in terms of getting people into things.
So do you think that people, like, there's all this stuff that we consider otherworldly or like, and again, you, by the way,
Psychic.
you had dinner with my ex-girlfriend, my friend, and you and Susan, she loved you guys.
Yes.
Jen, and she's very big into that world.
Oh boy, is
she's big into it. And I don't know if I believe it, but stuff like that does happen. It's more than a coincidence.
I've studied these guys kind of carefully because my wife's into that stuff too. And there are that, first of all, look, this thing in our skull is a very limited instrument that evolved for a specific process, which is survival on the savannah, and social, our social interaction is really what the brain is complicated and used for. But ultimately, there's a lot of communication going on between people that we don't see or aren't aware of. It's, again, back to the bodily based connections and stuff. And so I think these people that have psychic insights and things just are better at it or something. Something in that zone. I don't know what it is. So my wife and I fight about it all the time. I'll go, look, the one thing I know is they're not talking to dead people. She goes, they're talking to dead people. I go, it's the only thing I'm sure of. They're not talking to dead people. But I don't know. After the going through COVID and stuff, I'm like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Maybe the earth is flat. Maybe Michelle Obama. I don't know.
I wish Michelle Obama was.
I don't know.
I would have voted for her. Now, do you, don't you hope your wife is right? Like, I hope that Jen is right about UFOs. I hope that people do communicate with the dead.
I don't know about the death part. If they're communicating,
it means
with
there's
dead,
something after.
I almost feel like it's something about time or temporality that they're playing with. But be that as it may, you ever heard of spooky action at a distance?
I've not.
So here it comes. This is something that fell out of Einstein's. We're talking about Einstein. Look at this. Entanglement.
Oh, quantum entanglement, yes.
Entanglement. Like if you measure a quantum electron in one spin, you can go to any electron anywhere in the universe, anywhere, and it'll have the opposite spin.
Yeah.
They're entangled.
Yeah. If it's faster than the speed of light, the information would have to be traveling.
Infinity fast because it can go anywhere. And so that to me tells me there's something missing in what we understand.
Yes.
And the only way I could kind of make sense of it a little bit is that the arrow of time, as the physics call it, the time going is highly artificial. It's based on cause and effect only, and that the universe might be more of a hologram. Like all the information may be actually somewhere in a dot, and the hologram just kind of comes out from that. So there really isn't distance in the spooky action. It's all somewhere together.
Is that kind of like believing that we're living in a simulation of some sort?
I mean, it's just as dumb. My idea is just as dumb as any. It's just my stupid brain trying to manage it. It goes in that same zone probably, although I don't believe in the simulation thing.
Do you think, because there are people that believe, like, if you see something, it's only there, which is how narcissists feel. So
you're looking.
Because you're looking, and then they do that whole that twin experiment where they fire photons through.
The dual slit.
The dual slit.
I don't know what to make of that yet in terms of meaning of life kind of meaning. But how did we get here?
We're just talking about the psychic connection, or that odd thing.
I thought we were talking about anal herpes a few minutes ago.
We were. I mean, it started sexy and it got deep.
But oh my God.
How about a black hole with a big red sun on it? Right back to.
You're right. It was a hemorrhoid talk. Everything. The point being is that we have limited. I do think we will figure some of this stuff out a little bit better. And there's something wrong with how we're thinking about it right now.
Does it make you, just being medically trained and as much like practical and legit information does it make it harder for you to like kind of believe in that stuff? Because there's a lot of smart people that believe in God and believe in
yes, for sure. And when I was, working 16 hours a day practicing medicine, I could not have any relation to that stuff. Everything had to be very...
What's in front of you, yeah.
Now, I'm just open to thinking about it more than anything. I don't know. I like having humility. I like being humble in the face of the universe.
Right.
Right. I think it's a really important position to be in.
When you found out you had cancer, did it change the way you, like, they say there's no atheist in a foxhole. So did it do anything for you like that? Did it change your, did you start?
No, but I do I try to practice sort of higher power things, mostly because I'm a severe codependent. I'm severe.
Right.
And I try to do that in relation to gratitude and forgiveness and humility.
And being a codependent, you mean like you with friends too, in relationships, all of it? Yeah.
And it is my superpower. It's what lets me tune to people so profoundly.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of therapy over the years, a lot. And so it doesn't overwhelm me very often, though it catches me. It gets just like addiction, right? It gets away from me once in a while. So I just try to have humility and have a practice of tuning to something other than my brain.
Any callers? We should have a caller. Yeah, I'm sure there are. Call in, ask for some advice, or give us some.
What are you looking at here? What is this? Climate mental health record. What the hell? What are you putting up there? Climate mental health?
I'm not sure. I was just pulling up trends from last year.
Climate mental health recognition?
He brings up the best, like a second ago it was in quantum entanglement, and then it was this, and his Google searches are fantastic.
They are, it's true.
Yes, you're on, caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Oh,
yeah, you're there. Welcome, sir. What's your name? You're talking to Dr. Drew and Jim.
Hey, Buginella.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, big fan, long time. Drew, love your shit, Okay, I have a question that I think both of you could be good at answering. So I'm 29. I'm long time, like, serial, like, dater, doing that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Low-key sex addicted, but not crazy. I just started dating this girl who, like, I like. She's, like, a sweet girl. But I'm having trouble, like, feeling, like, super connected because she's not psychotic.
Yeah.
And I'm generally, like, more attracted to that, like, psychotic energy, but I know that it's not healthy, so I'm trying to do the healthy thing. And, like,
this is like grade 1 JNS.
Yes.
low grade
Jim
JNS.
Norton syndrome, yes. It's you know what I find it is, too?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not into...
No, go ahead, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say what I find sometimes is...
Go ahead.
Yeah, just your show, Jim. You go. It's whoever I find it's almost like I'm looking for dopamine.
Yeah,
just like somebody with a big enough needle.
That's right.
To jab me with dopamine. And stable, normal, healthy people, they give a little, but they give the healthy and proper amount, and that's just not as fun.
But I'm worried that we are so overcome with Instagram and pornography and stuff that even non-addicts are getting into it too much.
Can't. How could you not? It's like my algorithm is like literally Japanese hornets, but every once in a while a big fat ass pops in. By that I mean Bob Kelly.
Asian?
What's your question?
Yeah, so I worry that too much time. There's a interesting thing I learned that I'm not sure I fully have my head around yet, but objectifying sexual partners is a way of sublimating rage. And if you have some leftover something from childhood, you might want to look into that if you can't get over the objectifying. But it's hard the way the world objectifies women.
I just have middle child syndrome, So like I like crave attention from outside sources.
John Brady.
And I recognize like my objectification of women, like through the women that I date, and that just like searching for that quick rush with like just these psychotic women. But like I know that it's I want like my question is like, how do I get past that and kind of like pursue this healthy relationship now?
Yeah. We've upgraded to Eve Plum syndrome. So.
Yes, we have. It's not just John Brady. It's Eve Plum. Yes.
So how to get over this? There are some simple things you can do. You could read Out of the Shadows if you want, which is it's
a very good book.
Patrick Carnes' book about sex addiction, which you are not technically a sex addict, but you might gain something from that book. Number one. Number two, one of the things that Jim is talking about here in the field, he mentioned this show I did many years ago about sex addiction, and what we were constantly telling our patients was, you're really going for lightning bolts. You're going for the dopamine surge when you are attracted to somebody, and lightning bolts, what that's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the things you don't want to be with. and try to get focused more on butterflies. And if you can't be attracted to or satisfied with people that are just kind of interesting to you, just fun to be with, then you got to get treatment.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying formal sex addiction treatment. I'm saying talk to a therapist because
Yes.
something's getting in the way.
Or do what I did.
Okay.
You find a dragonfly who lives as a butterfly. All right, now. I would say that. I forgot. I had a thought and it just went away. So I guess we will. Patrick Carnes. What was he talking about? I forgot. I had a thought and it just kind of left.
He was talking about getting that dopamine injection from the crazy folks.
Oh, you're talking about, yes, when you objectify a person, is that
rage?
rage?
Is that sublimated rage?
But I was maybe it is, but I mean, like, doesn't that happen too? Like, even if it's not.
Why are we looking at this Jack habit thing? What is that?
It's a.
I think it's gonna be a new wave of addiction. It syncs to the video.
Oh God, does it really? That's very, very bookmark that. It's very unhealthy. Oh yeah, you sync it to the video and it kind of follows the beats of the.
I tell you when that's gonna be a problem, when it's attached to a robot. That's when it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, and you're on your cell phone on the subway. But could it be any type of objectification? Like, meaning, even like you look at a woman with big breasts and oh God, I'm just want to fuck her. But then how about a woman who looks at a guy and goes, that's my security? Like, you're seeing a guy as the breadwinner, the earner.
So we all do a bit of objectifying, right? But if you're troubled by the degree to which you objectify other people, or you have a habit of doing that, then no, it's like.
So you're basically saying that I'm wrong to try to equate my prostitution addiction with someone just looking for a guy to put bread on the table. All right, yeah, you're correct. I'm wrong.
Well,
it was a
not
stretch.
wrong, but
it was
it's
a
a
stretch.
stretch.
It was a stretch. That's what addicts do. We stretch.
You do.
We do. We take it. We try to, try to match it up with what's normal, and then we have a great excuse. Hi, caller. You're on the phone with Dr. Drew. And
I don't think I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't think the average person caught that.
No,
it's the minimizing, the obfuscating, the reasoning, the bullshitting.
Yeah, but wait, you're talking about what? I cheat. So what? You fucking tell your grandfather didn't cheat on his taxes? All right, good. That's a great explanation for why you had unprotected sex on the road. All right, yes, you're on the phone. Hello. Yep, we hear you. Say your name. Everyone just say your name. He's not. He might be off the phone.
So what is this thing called? It's interesting. It's in French what they've written.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh well, whatever.
It's a.
Enfin.
It looks like it is. It's called Lovinese.
Yeah.
Is that it? It is a little icky. I'm not into toys though. I'm not into things like that. Like you
like prostitutes. Why would you bother with that?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but some of them have toys.
Didn't you have that fake ass or something for a while there?
Yeah, just a novelty.
That was one. I mean, all right, that's a great point. I did buy a.
Were you dating Jennifer at the time?
No, I was with actually Nikki, and I was trying not to cheat. I actually wasn't cheating. But I wanted to act out still, so I bought this big fake hiney that felt like a real ass. And I tried using it because I'm like, this way, because she was still living in Norway. Oh. I can act out, but I won't be with a person.
Yes.
I just felt too stupid having sex with a torso. I'm like, I'm a creep, but not that. I'm not that far down the rabbit hole. It would look like that. Yeah, it was just unpleasant. All right, do we have another caller?
But I like that you tried.
I did try, and I had been faithful. It's not easy.
Yeah, I am troubled by the degree to which sex addiction is fucking up relationships.
Yeah,
it's not a trivial matter.
Well, is it treatable, or is it now
Yes.
everyone meaning will this be treated because there's so many people doing it, or will people have to redefine what's acceptable in a relationship?
No, I think you got to treat it because look throughout. No. I mean, some people may be able to tolerate it, but usually it's just co-addicts.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you're on the phone with Dr. Drew and Jim.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Drew. This is Jarrett.
Hey, Jarrett.
Got a question that kind of pertains to both of you.
Sure.
I'm kind of curious how to deal with this situation. My wife has type 1 diabetes, lupus, Graves, antiphospholipid syndrome, medullary sponge kidney.
Good boy.
And I've woken up to her unresponsive, caught her while she's passed out, and chased her around the room with her mother on FaceTime when she said, just get the glucagon in her leg. She's not really there. And I would really like to pursue stand-up comedy, which is where you come in, Jim.
Sure.
So I don't know how I give up.
Wait, are you saying you're a caregiver and like you're there, you got to be there all the time?
Well, I mean, for example, I was 45 minutes away from home, and I got a call from my mother-in-law. We have her Dexcom and her blood sugar on my phone.
Oh.
So I can't be. I broke a lot of traffic laws.
Why are you managing her diabetes? The patient is supposed to manage their own condition. Obviously, if there's something where she becomes unconscious, you want to be prepared to step in. But something's very wrong with her care. What's going on here?
Her A1C is better than mine, but she eats complex carbs, and there's a number of things that are just completely out of her control. I know that when I am able to make her breakfast, she eats 220 grams of egg whites, 3 pieces of turkey bacon. She's very, very much in control of what she eats, and I try and kind of join her on that venture.
How old is she?
Be a good.
How old is she?
32. I'm 34.
And why is she having these wild swings?
I'm not sure.
Do you go to her
doctor?
Do you go to the doctor visits with her?
I do not.
All right, why don't we start there? Because something is wrong, and find out what the problem is. I'm going to bet the doctor's frustrated by something, and I don't know what. And you're being held hostage for some reason that doesn't work for me. Nobody knows how to manage their own blood sugar better than the patient. And she's not doing it for some reason. And you need to know why. And there are so many options for treatment of diabetes these days that there is there's such a thing as brittle diabetics that can't be managed. It exists. But this doesn't sound like that. This sounds like somebody who's doing something odd in terms of missing her meds or screwing with her insulin or not having the glucagon on hand herself. What is going on? Does she have any psychiatric problems?
No, other than being a crazy woman, but other than that.
Start by going to the doctor visits with her, and let's see what's going on here. Something's missing.
Good luck, sir. Hang in there.
You're doing a good job, by the way.
And if you're going to try comedy, you could listen to the response. I would say make sure you try it, but you like you said, being held hostage by someone. It's not like she's in a vegetative state on a hospital bed in the fucking living room. She can.
And he listed a bunch of things, and I don't know about the lupus part and stuff. It's a lot of drama here, and that's why I asked about psychiatric problems.
She might be a little. Yeah. All right, who's on the phone? I wouldn't have caught that. That's why you're a doctor, and I dropped out of high school. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, what's up?
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, my name's Mikey, Southern California.
Welcome, Mikey. What's your question?
Hey, so love you both, number one.
Thank
number
you.
2, from performance anxiety, I started taking tadalafil. What is it? Tadalafil?
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Is that like Cialis almost?
It's Cialis.
Yeah.
It's Cialis.
Yeah. The yellow pills on a daily basis, just to perform better.
Yeah.
And we had our first encounter. It could have been better. So I upped it to the 10 milligrams. From my understanding, we can do the 20 milligrams.
Don't do that.
But my issue, my personal issue, is the coming part. I find it real difficult to come.
Okay.
Well, just in general, but just on these things, right?
Oh, wait, hold on a second. So on the where you're taking the Cialis, your delay gets even worse?
No. So if I'm on my own, right?
Yep.
I don't mean to be crude, but if I'm just handling my own business in the bathroom, then I can make it happen right away.
Right.
But my fear is that my brain and body has gotten used to that, and now that I've been away from, putting the pickaxe to dirt, that now it's becoming like a foreign.
Right.
Can I? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, we do. So we used to tell, Adam and I used to tell, because we'd get these calls every once in a while back in the day, and we'd always say, why don't you go ahead and masturbate and bring yourself right to the edge and then incorporate your partner into the whole thing, when you're already pretty much there.
Bridging.
Yeah. bridging or what's the other word for it?
Edging.
Edging,
Oh,
but actually
yeah.
bridging. So
Edging, gooning.
You know what might be the problem too? You said you take it every day, and you also have a hard time because you just jerk off too much. When I took Cialis every day, it was because I was in addiction, so I always wanted my dick to be present and feel hard, and I didn't even need it. I knew I was going to be getting no action. I was just going to be masturbating, but I would still take it. So maybe only take it when you're going to see someone, and don't take it every day.
Well, I was going to say, why don't you switch to a shorter acting like Viagra or the what's the other one?
Oh, there was Levitra. There was
Levitra.
Blue Chew.
You go there, and there's all kinds of combos out there now. But just switch to Viagra. You take it 30 minutes before, and it's more to the point. You can take higher doses of that too.
And it gets you very. I always preferred Cialis because it would stay for a day or two. The next day I'd be on the subway. Somebody would bump into me. I'm like, look at that. That's what it's like to feel like a man. All right. Good luck to you, sir, with your wonky penis.
Didn't you do some kind of sensitivity treatment to your penis?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. No, because I had beaten.
Thank you for bringing that up.
No, I appreciate. I had beaten it so much. I mean, my dick looked like Jake LaMotta. So I said, let me just go. I went and got these. It's when they spin the blood, and they do electric shocks to it, where there's micro.
Oh, the wave therapy. Yeah, that actually works.
I think I asked you about it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I did the needles where they take the blood and they spin it and they inject this.
Oh, PRP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works too.
And it did work, but it was very painful.
The ultrasound works very well.
But they put a numbing cream on first, and it's unpleasant, but it did help because the blood rushes in to heal these micro injuries, right? And the
also the ultrasound expands the idea is the thinking is that it takes the endothelium and sort of softens it and opens it up, so to speak.
Yeah, it definitely felt better after, but the needles were very like I had to get a needle in it's in the pubis, in the area above. That was actually not bad, but when I got the needle directly into the dick, I don't know how people do Caverjet. You know Caverjet, that the erection drug they inject? I don't know how they do that.
They inject at the base, though. Is that where they injected you?
At first, they did. I've done it twice. Once I almost passed out.
Yeah.
Where they actually injected into the head of the penis.
Oh, that's rough.
But they numbed it a little first.
Yeah.
Not quite good enough. Small needles.
Yeah.
But then I got a numbing in the base the next time I did it, and then they did the other needles.
Yeah.
Still not pleasant, but not as bad. Very uncomfortable.
Huh. I wonder if this guy ever going to go there.
Oh, I hope so. I hope it's 4 inches. I hope that no matter how long he lives, he's always got a small dick.
Brian Johnson. Is that his son behind him or something?
It is, yeah. We got the blood from. Is there anything to that blood spit? Because I've heard that there's guys that I've someone like Keith Richards does it, and I don't know if that's true, but where guys who live these crazy lifestyles have their blood swapped out or run through something and put back. Does that help with cancers and stuff? If
No.
you're taking no, it doesn't.
Because if it did, we would all do it.
I guess you're right.
Why would we withhold that from people?
And I've asked about anti-angiogenesis. I like for cancer treatments. I know strawberries kind of has something to do with that, but you can't just eat strawberries. What is the key with that?
There's a medicine that blocks angiogenesis in tumors, and it works.
It does.
Yeah.
Is it new?
I think it's Avastin. Is that the one that does that? Look up Avastin. And a friend of mine had a medullary, and a glioblastoma. Metastatic cancer. Is that the one? Glioblastoma.
Is that a brain tumor?
Yeah. That's my friend had, was a glioblastoma. And when I first heard about it, I thought, 6 months at the most.
Yeah.
And that was 14 years ago with Avastin.
So they've found a way to kind of slow these, these are the brain tumors that they can't get to.
Well, these glioblastomas, yeah. It was lots. Most.
So you guys hear that?
Most brain tumors you're not getting to.
You're not, right?
Mm-mm.
I go for, and we talked about this recently, so I go for MRIs, but I get so claustrophobic. But my doctor said that normally, he goes, you can get everything, but he goes, the head one, he goes, once you start showing symptoms, that's when they do something anyway.
Exactly.
So you're fine.
Total body MRIs are pretty much a scam.
I do them for the chest and the groin.
Why did you do just low radiation CT scan?
I think I did that because I'm so claustrophobic. I have to keep coming out of the
MR.
Whoever can figure out claustrophobia is going to make a lot of money.
They have open MRI scans,
They do, but the Teslas are not as high. Believe me, I was the Tesla kid looking for a 3 Tesla MRI.
So really the only thing you get from total body MRI is a scan of the kidneys. Because hypernephromas, those are bad.
I know what that is, but he doesn't. Could you explain that?
It's kidney cancers,
okay.
And those are relatively rare, and you're not going to pick up too many of those. You might as well get a low radiation CT of the chest and a ultrasound of the kidney, They give you the same information.
It will.
And a physical exam. That would give you all the same information.
Okay.
We can see so much by examining a patient. It's ridiculous.
All right. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you very much. Because now I don't feel as bad because I'm a little delayed in going. But the claustrophobia, if I could...
Hello, this is John.
I'll get back to that in a minute. Yes, John, you're on the phone with the Dr. Drew and Jim.
Nice. Hey, how's it going, fellas? Y'all doing all right?
Terrific.
Hey, I think that diabetes guy is going to kill his wife. First of all, I just want to address that. I think he's up to some
You heard it here.
things.
Oh, that's interesting impulse.
You think that was his alibi? You think?
Yeah,
was our
maybe
call.
he's the one doing all this stuff.
That's right. Maybe he. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
he's
I
like the
think he was
mother.
just-
Go ahead.
Well, I think he was calling to, just say, well, hey, I called and I talked to Dr. Drew, and he said X, Y, Z. So
He
it
said
kinda
it's
gave him
good to
a
let your
free pass
let your
to
sugars
whatever.
go to 300.
Yes, that's the
exactly.
alibi
He's
thing.
like, we're doing everything perfect. Don't change anything.
What's going on, sir?
But I had a quick. I wanted to pick Dr. Drew's brain. So,
Sure.
my daughter has we thought it was an allergic thing. And every couple of nights, it's the weirdest thing. Right around, I'd say 8 p.m., she'll start complaining about like an itch or a burn, and it'll start on her backside and it'll spread. And it's not like true hives, but it's like it almost looks like a dermatitis, but it's not. And sometimes it'll get bad enough to where she's like in real pain.
Yeah, that needs
So
to...
we talked with
Pediatrician?
Go ahead.
You saw a pediatrician?
Yeah, we spoke with the pediatrician, and they're kind of at their wits' end with it as well. I mean, they're basically saying start with cutting out gluten and things like that and just see what helps. Because there's been no major changes to her diet or environment or anything like that. Because that was their main thing is like, what's different, right?
Yeah.
But if nothing's different, they're like, okay, well, then let's start going down the list. And their first thing was to cut out gluten. So I was more or less just curious if that would make sense to you. I mean, it's weird that it's just every couple of days and there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it.
So, so nocturnal urticaria, right? It's actually a syndrome. And
sounds like something I used to experience.
I was just looking it up because physical factors, medication, autoimmune diseases, thyroid diseases. I thought there were sort of some diseases in childhood too associated with this. Let me see, really, because I don't do children, so it's hard for me.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Right. I figured you'd get a kick out of this one. We'll challenge round.
Are you using any antihistamines and things with her?
We did the first, so it's happened 5 times, and we've basically used Benadryl every time, and it's not been twice really like back-to-back nights, so we've been able to do that, and that seems to help after a while. But typically we'll do, the first time we did, I think, just a regular 10 milliliters dose of Benadryl. That kind of helped. And then the pediatrician said, don't do it more than twice in 24, 36 hours, and that whole spiel. But then really, honestly, the only thing that helps is just having her sit on an ice pack. And then, after whether it's that or the Benadryl kicks in and starts helping out, because that was what we were thinking, maybe it's an allergy, because the antihistamine seems to work.
Does she have any other symptoms?
No. Like there's nothing would indicate a viral issue or anything of that nature. So it's just really weird, and for that matter, there's been, 2 of the nights, it was more of discomfort than actual pain. Like the first night it happened, she was like, it was a long night for us to be easy, but it's just kind of crazy how that happened. So, I mean, we'll see what the gluten stuff does. I just, like I say, wanted to pick your brain at it and see if you were kind of along the same lines of thought.
I'm doing a little search here on my phone here because I have a faint memory. Again, I'm not a pediatrician, so, but I thought I remember hearing that was something called PNH, or paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, can be associated with a rash, and I'm not seeing it, so that might be my faulty memory. But PNH is kind of a nasty thing.
This says here a gluten-related rash in children could be a symptom of celiac disease.
Yeah, or which is dermatitis herpetiformis, comes from that. But I don't see anything. I thought I remembered something about night rashes and PNH. But anyway, I don't know. So it's probably just one of these normal things and just an allergic thing, and the pediatrician's doing the best they can and just kind of struggle with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Wish I had some
Do
great.
you think it's worth doing an allergy test and doing that sort of thing? or
Always. I'm
just
a
go
big
down
fan
the
of
road?
that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that stuff. So yes, it's a lot more to be done these days with that.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your call. And we've been going for like an hour and 15, Drew. I appreciate you coming on. So
I'm in no hurry, by the way. So if we
oh,
do
okay. We'll take a couple more calls. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put that down
That's
before.
all right.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more calls.
I'm remembering some hemoglobin disorder and nighttime rash. Anyway. So.
What did I say? I was thinking about. I wanted to talk about something, but my memory is. We were talking about.
God, being an old male is not fun. Is
No,
it? The memory thing. I used to have the world's best working memory. Like I could be talking to you, thinking about something else, working on another problem, preparing to write something over here. Now, I'm talking to you, and that's
you gotta focus.
That is it.
Yeah.
And, even then, you see, I have to think
Oh,
about it.
I do the same thing. We just, but I just was focusing on not blood transfusion. There was something we were talking about. It was after the guy with the dick pills. It was after the wife with the. And I said, remind me, because I wanted to talk about. It's going to drive me. It's going to drive me crazy. Like I couldn't remember Pete Holmes' name the other day.
Ooh.
I remember Pete, and I could picture his face. I could picture his material, but I wouldn't look it up. Mother always says, make your brain get it. And I think Mother is correct. In that case, it took 4 days. And then someone just said Pete Holmes. I'm like, that's who I've been thinking of. What the fuck am I thinking of? All right, we'll go for another call. I can't remember. What was that guy just talking about? The rash.
Yeah, the kid.
In childhood.
Hello.
Wait, guess not. It's gone. Yes, you're on the air with Dr. Drew and Jim.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Justin. Can you hear me?
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, big fan of y'all's.
Thank you.
Saw y'all both at Skank Fest with me and my girlfriend.
Okay, thank you.
Got a question about proposing. I think it's getting close to time to needing to do that.
Yep.
Nice.
We've been dating for 6 years. Yep. I'm 37. She's 31. And so, Jim, I don't know if I've heard you talk about your proposal with Nikki much, about how you did it.
I got down on a knee in a hotel in Vancouver because she was still not allowed into the U.S., so I got engaged that way. I did it pretty traditional. It was nice. She said yes. We went out to dinner. And then later that night, she leaned off the side of the bed and threw up into a bucket.
Oh, nice.
That's the truth.
Nice touch.
Yes, and she was right. Yeah, that was how I did it. I just kind of did it when she wasn't expecting it. And, but I kept it pretty simple and pretty normal. It wasn't some giant statement. We weren't on a glad float in Canada. It's just me and her in a hotel.
Right. Did you already have a ring picked out, or did you talk about that with her?
Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven's a friend of mine. My biggest fear was driving into Canada with a ring. So I'm like, I hope they don't see this and try to tax me on it.
Or worry you're trafficking something.
Yeah. Or going like, why is he bringing this jewelry in without? And I was
declaring.
That's exactly. And I didn't declare it. I'm like, I'll take a chance. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. It's worth doing. I'm glad I did it. How did you do it?
I was weak. We've been dating a long time. She goes, when are we going to do this? I said, let's do it.
Oh, really?
It was that simple. And it was just, I felt bad about it ever since.
Did you guys elope or did you kind of?
No, we did a big marriage.
We didn't have a big wedding. I kind of wish we had.
But you were sort of stuck in Canada, weren't you?
We were. But we got married here.
Oh.
In City Hall. And we were always planning on doing a wedding, but we just actually never.
I will tell you what, too many beautiful weddings and lousy marriages.
I guess so, right? Now, at least we started lousy and we're still doing lousy. That's good.
But you're getting better.
I guess so. It's hard. It's everything they said it was. At times it's great. At times it sucks. I guess that's for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Frustrating.
We've been together 40 years or something. Yeah. Jim was like, what?
Wow.
What's wrong with you?
No. But you guys still seem like you enjoy each other.
Yeah.
You still seem like you have a good time together and you
do.
enjoy being around each other. All right, let's go for one more call. You're on the phone.
So you guys don't have to worry about it because you never enjoyed being around each other. So
that's the beauty of it. We kind of went into it like that. Like they're making a show about our marriage. It's called Gaza. Yes, you're on the phone. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Tommy from how you doing?
Hey, Tommy.
Good to talk to you guys.
Thank you, buddy.
So I got a question, maybe for Jim more than anyone else. So I got a job that's kind of confrontational. I feel like it's kind of trained me to become an asshole at work. And sadly, I think, I've become successful being an asshole, and it's hard to flip the switch out of asshole mode.
Yep.
I feel like I'm kind of addicted to it.
What kind of work
So
are
I
you
come home
doing?
and
Wait a minute.
just kind of addict to everybody.
I'm just so curious. What kind of work are you doing?
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm a lawyer.
Oh, That kind of asshole. Got it. Got it. All right. Well,
So it helps.
congratulations.
It's some benefit of the
Are you
doubt.
trained? You're saying you're kind of trained yourself to ignore feelings and just kind of your shark instincts. Smelling blood in the water has kind of become the predominant thing, not being compassionate or feeling, but kind of seeing a situation for how you can exploit it.
You know,
Yeah, then you make me sound like a real dick.
No, that's what lawyers do.
But not only exploit it. What I've seen in my friends that are lawyers that get this way, it's more that everything feels like bullshit to them. People do so much bullshitting, and even the experts will come on and say anything for money, and they're all like, whatever. Everything seems like
this is crap.
It's all just bullshit, and it's hard to trust people, and it's hard to be honest with people, and hard to know who's being honest with you. Right? Are you getting that kind of stuff going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's
You
gotta
know,
be
and,
hard.
I feel like yeah, and I like Jimmy. I've listened to you forever on the radio, and in your act. I mean, and it's like you kind of have that like BS detector. That's probably a good way to put it. And like, how do you like step on and off stage or on and off the radio and kind of like become like a normal person?
A human being.
Well, yeah, you're just, one is a performance and one isn't. Like, when you're on the radio, it's a heightened sense of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're hyper-focusing. There's a distinct goal. There's not a distinct goal in real life to be funny or entertaining.
Right.
And my wife will tell you that I'm certainly not striving for that around the house. So when you're striving to be entertaining, you're hyper-focusing. You're letting a lot of bullshit go by that you'd normally talk about. Not as much meandering and casualness in thought. That's what it is. It's the hyper-focusing. When you kind of like take it out of a tube and let it run through a big tunnel. Does that make sense? Where you're just kind of running through life and not focusing on the one goal of whatever being a lawyer makes you focus on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. That's how I do it. Just try not to,
Yeah,
not
it
goal
gets hard
oriented.
for them because they see so much bullshit.
It's all lies. And they also take
and they
part in
bullshit.
it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's what they don't trust other people because they can't trust themselves, and so it's got to be hard. I think you got to really have in recovery. It must get recovery is sort of a buttress against that. You're required to be honest. You're required to be open with your feelings and things. Your sponsor would call you out on this shit.
Yes.
He doesn't have anything like that. And so it's tough. You just got to keep taking yourself by the hand and talking to yourself about, look, that's a courtroom. This is reality. These are people I love and trust. And if I don't, we got to do something about that.
Yeah, you do get a good bullshit detector, but again, I see my own bullshit too. Like, and even though I still act it and do it, I kind of see it. Being sober makes it harder to lie to yourself, but I still do. But I know I'm lying to myself.
Right.
Like, I'm not so delusional that I think I'm a victim.
Right.
I very rarely play the victim. I am. My sponsor used to say, "There's no victims, only volunteers," which in many cases is true.
You get yourself there.
Yeah. I show up for it.
What did you just throw up there with all those pictures of me? What is that?
I was just clicking through tabs.
Let me see the Dr. Drew pictures.
What is that?
Look at that, Dr.
Way
Drew's
back.
show.
What, Drew Barrymore as a child.
Yeah, just Drew. Look at that. A nice picture at Sirius XM where neither of us are anymore.
Yeah. Wild.
And who is that? Prime Minister Dr. Drew. Is that you in there or no?
No. I think there was a minister or something like that.
Have you met, here's a silly childlike question. How many presidents have you met?
I've been to the White House through like 3 or 4 presidencies, but I think I only met Trump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've gone in to help out several times, but I went a couple times to the Obama White House, I think, if I remember right. But never. It wasn't until Trump that
Oh, and he wasn't
somebody
there.
showed up. Yeah.
How was it going into the White House? I want to do it.
It depends what you're doing and what you're going there for. You can go take a tour of the West Wing just by being a citizen and having a sponsor take you in there.
Right.
But if you want to go meet some of the personnel in there, somebody's got to know somebody, and you got to be there for a reason. So I was going there to help them with the homeless stuff, and I was in the West Wing is not just the West Wing you tour. There's stuff upstairs. There's all kinds of things, and I got to meet and talk to a lot of interesting people there. Yeah.
Was the security crazy? I've interviewed Trump, so I know the security for that was
not
insane.
once you're in the West Wing. Once you're there, it's just like a normal sort of office area.
But getting in, it's psychotic.
Yeah. And then there's Secret Service desks all over the place in there.
And what we like to do, Drew, when we end the show, here's what we love to do.
Good.
We love a good catchphrase, but I am unable, and thank you for reminding me, I'm unable to come up with a catchphrase. So we are trying to find something to go out on
Oh, to end the show?
Yeah, like a catchphrase to end it something. And so I asked my guests for help.
And Corolla used to end with mahalo.
He does. He still does.
Thank you and mahalo. Something like that.
Yes.
But you went like
a catchphrase. I didn't do my roast jokes, by the way. I have two. Let me do these before while you're thinking. These are not mine. We talk about AI. These are ChatGPT.
Roast jokes. About me.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, they're terrific. Boy, comedians are in trouble.
Oh.
Dr. Drew is like the WebMD of doctors, always around, but you're not sure if you should trust him with anything serious.
Clever. Back in the day, that would have offended me greatly.
Oh, really? That's funny. Well, ChatGPT.
I've grown up.
Dr. Drew's advice is like off-brand medicine. It kind of works, but you're not too sure if it's worth the side effects.
That's kind of clever.
It's
clever, though.
They miss the funny in every joke.
I know.
It fucking sucks.
But it was kind of clever. It wasn't funny. It was clever.
They always have one that's kind of funny.
Okay.
This one. Dr. Drew's been on so many reality shows, I'm starting to think his medical degree came with a SAG card.
Oh.
That's got joke
that's
structure.
Funny. Yes.
That's got a joke structure and a
Yeah.
punch. But this meandering shit, it's not worth the side effect. Shut up.
Yeah.
Stupid computers.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Me nuts.
Catchphrase to end the show. We got to have something to do with the Jim Norton syndrome.
Yes. And there's a lot of syndromes that
stay
people
well
confuse
and
with it.
be sure not to catch the JNS. I don't know. What the hell? Why are you asking me?
I ask everybody. I asked everybody. We haven't been able to find one. Something that says help and yet humility.
Help?
Me throwing out
help?
No, just me throwing out unrealistic things for you to put into a catchphrase. Help and humility, looks but not overbearing. What do you got? Yeah, I like that.
God's will and not Jim's.
Fair enough. Perfect. Thank you, Drew.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for calling my show. The episode's over, it's time to go. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. I hope everything works out. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. Don't blame me when it doesn't work out. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. Don't blame me when it doesn't work out.